Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Laura Haywood. Today, I'll be joined in studio by a major power couple, jewelry designer Jennifer Montana and her husband, maybe you've heard of him, NFL superstar Hall of Famer Joe Montana. Despite appearing somewhat superhuman, both Joe and Jennifer have family history of heart disease, and Joe was recently diagnosed with high cholesterol and high blood pressure. So now the Montanas have partnered with Amgen on an educational program to spread awareness of heart disease as the #1 cause of death in the United States, and to share everyday steps we can all take to combat it. Before we bring them out, let's take a quick look at a video from the Breakaway from Heart Disease campaign.
If I know one thing in life, it's this. You need a game plan.
He makes a game plan for everything.
Having a dinner party? Have a game plan. Getting a haircut? Game plan.
But Joe didn't have the most important game plan of all, one for heart disease.
I never thought I'd be diagnosed with high blood pressure or high cholesterol.
Heart disease runs in our families, so I made sure we both had a game plan.
Go to breakawayfromheartdisease.com to start yours.
Let's help change the future of heart health together.
Jennifer and Joe Montana, welcome to Build.
Thank you.
We're here to talk about breaking away from heart disease, and you guys found out fairly recently that both of your family histories have heart disease. Can you talk about discovering that and how you ended up partnering with Amgen on this important project?
Well, I think Joe discovered it about a year after he retired. So really 20 years ago that he knew it ran in his family as it was because his mom had high blood pressure and cholesterol. And it took his kind of a checkup after he finished playing to alert him that he has the same there too. And for me, it was more or less, my father passed away at the age of 60 of a massive heart attack. And that was really the only indication that we have the same disease in our family.
So how did you, Joe, how did you end up partnered with Amgen on Breakaway from Heart Disease?
Well, we were contacted about this, and because it was so close to our heart, so to speak, it made a lot of sense for us. You know, at the same time, we had been trying to condition our kids about their risk because of our family histories. That it just made a lot of sense. And when you look at it, it really wasn't that difficult to get myself back in line again, because when I was diagnosed, I went in just for a normal checkup, and there was no way I was having high blood pressure or high cholesterol. I never even crossed my mind.
You're like one of the most fit people on the planet.
Well, I won't go that far, but the one thing I found out was that when I retired, I quit exercising. I was still eating like I was playing, and things had to change in my life. And got with my doctor and kind of got a game plan going of how to get myself back in line. And it's been an easy trek for us to be able to try to point out to people that, this is the #1 killer, and it's a silent killer because there are really no symptoms other than making sure you have your blood pressure under control. And so we're out there just saying, hey, look, if we can do it, or if I can do it, if I can change my lifestyle, eating habits, exercise, anyone can do it. It doesn't take a lot to make sure you're healthy.
It seems like the kind of thing like you did, you turned it around. And of course, where my brain goes is you're the king of fourth quarter comebacks. And that this is yet another way that no matter how far down the wrong path you've gone, you can still come back and win that game.
Yeah, well, I like to hope and think so. Yeah, that's why I'm still here, so I'm winning right now. But I think if sometimes people are just afraid to go to the doctor, the website, breakawayfromheartdisease.com, has a lot of great information that can help get you started and get you understanding, the importance of, making sure that you're in check.
So there's a 5-point program that the letters of heart spell out. Do you know what each of those letters stands for?
I don't know. Do you?
I do. Do you know, Joe? Did you memorize them? I went. Yeah. So from what I understand, you have to know your history. H is for history. You have to eat right. That's what the E is for. A is for. Do you remember?
Active.
Yep,
activity.
To be active. And R is for know the risk factors. And T is talk to your doctor.
Okay, well, thank you.
So that's just some of what you can learn at Breakaway from heart disease. Let's go back, let's say 30, 35 years. Can you guys describe how you met?
Yes, we met shooting a Schick, I have to be careful when I say that, Schick shaving commercial.
You could say whatever you want on this platform, just so you know.
Yeah, I had done it 2 years prior, and then they decided to bring somebody notable on, and Joe was the one who replaced the two guys I had done it with, and that's where we met.
Was it love at first sight?
I don't know if it was love at first sight. Infatuation, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
For sure, yeah.
That's fair.
What was your first impression of Jennifer?
Very athletic, very outgoing, almost opposite of me. But I mean, I was athletic.
I would say you're both athletic.
Not as outgoing and great. She had a great personality, and we went out one night and kind of kept it going from there.
Yeah, I think I really appreciated he had a certain humility for the success he had at that point, and I really appreciated that. Mm-hmm. Somebody to have done what he had done in a short period of time, and to be so down to earth and kind and all too was what attracted me to him.
Were you a 49er fan?
No, I didn't know of his success. In fact, I didn't even know who he was prior to meeting him. I was in Europe for 2 years while he was winning the first Super Bowl. So.
Don't tell me you were a Cowboys fan.
No, actually, long-time Miami fan, though.
Okay. Are you still?
No, not. I can't say. I'm more of a Kansas City, San Francisco fan.
Uh-huh. Joe, do you still follow the sport actively?
Not actively. I like watching a good game when I know a couple good teams are playing. But other than that, we're pretty active. I call ourselves, we're a do family. We'd rather be doing something than watching. Mm-hmm. But on occasion when there's some really good games or a good reason to get together, like a Monday night where she can con all the boys, our boys and some of their friends to come over to have dinner and be around her. We do it whenever we can, but it's a good reason to do it.
Do you enjoy going out to the stadium to watch the Niners play, or do you just get mobbed when you're out there?
I don't like going to any stadium to watch the game. It's not. It's just hard to. It's not that it's nice interacting with the fans, but while you're interacting with the fans, the game's going on and you missed it. Mm-hmm. So I'd much rather, if I want to watch a game, I'd rather stay at home and watch it with a bunch of friends and family. And every year I go to the Super Bowl prior to the Super Bowl, and I try to beat it home and before the game starts so I can watch it at home. Yeah.
You can fly during the game. You can watch it from your airline seat, maybe. Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's not always on. They don't always. Well, the NFL, you know how they are.
What do you think is the biggest misconception people have about you and your career?
Sometimes it seems like it was easier than it really was. I mean, there were a lot of ups and downs with it, with injuries. A back injury, a major elbow injury. Some of the injuries actually have taken place after. I think everyone assumes that because you're healthy, you look healthy. I've had 20 surgeries, and I'm on the good side of where most guys are.
Yeah.
I think one thing too, what you don't know from the outside, but certainly was prevalent in our lives. It didn't matter that he went to one Super Bowl or then he went back to back. He was always on the trading blocks, according to the paper. So you were always on edge. Kind of, is he going to hold on to his job, and which force you to play even when you were maybe not in the condition to play, just to, that was the side of the pressure, I think, that was not so ideal.
I read your book, The Winning Spirit, which does talk a lot about the setbacks and how important it is to get up one more time than you then you fall. And one of my favorite quotes from that is talking about practice as a privilege, and showing up and enjoying the process of getting better. And that reminds me, too, of something like heart disease, about the steps you take on a daily basis, the little changes you make. Yes, you can make major changes, and people want to make quick fixes, but it's that daily practice, whether you're an athlete in his prime or whether you're, retired and trying to get your health back on track.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to, like you said, everybody wants to make a major change immediately and quickly, and those are usually the most difficult. And what I found out when I had to really cut back the things I was eating, the first thing I started with, I loved salt, so I had to kind of get rid of the salt shaker, and luckily for me, she doesn't like salt at all. So that transition was made a little bit
Never
easier.
heard of such a thing.
And what I did was I just started cutting back portion size, and then I found that this is a lot easier than I thought. I was still eating foods that I liked, and then I started thinking, wow, if I can do this, then I don't really need to eat red meat 4 days a week or whatever, and just keep slowly making those changes, and you'll find that you'll be a lot more successful in the long run. And sort of like that, and when you talk about the 49ers, we had the same thing with, we were just talking about this earlier at one of the shows. We were losing 35-7 to the Saints at home, and at halftime, Bill changed everything and went, okay, we're just going to go back to what we did normally from day one, our basic plays, and start over again. And then we'll just build our way up, and we ended up coming back and winning 38-35, and that wasn't what his intention. I mean, he wanted to win, but his real intention was, let's just get on track. And by doing little things different, not making if we try to throw a touchdown every time we got the ball, let's throw Jerry deep or whatever, Dwight. At that point, chances of success were slim. In the same way with making changes in your life, make them small, go back to the start, and start over. But allow yourself to. If you try to take everything away, you'll never be successful.
Right. You can't think about the Super Bowl, that first game of the season.
No, not
First
at all.
game, first play, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned Jerry and you mentioned Dwight. You still in touch with these guys? From what I've seen, it looks like you have a pretty good relationship with your old pals.
There's a lot of guys that stayed in the Bay Area, which has been nice. How many did you say, Jen? 15, 20?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Dwight just moved to Montana.
Yeah. How's he doing?
He's doing
Taking it one day at a time.
taking it a day at a time. Yeah.
Not easy.
It's not an easy. The disease is not easy. But yeah, we're still great friends, and no matter what, I still make fun of him. It doesn't matter. There's nothing better than getting together with the guys and telling our stories. All get bigger and bigger, and our lives get bigger and bigger, and the plays are more important than they were back then. But yeah, we see each other a lot.
You made a very beautiful, generous gesture last year, I think, when there was a street being named for you, and you asked that it be named for the two of you together, which brought a tear to my eye.
Well, to totally be honest with you, we were sitting there, and Dwight was there, Dwight Clark, and we were trying to figure out what was going on, and it really was her idea to say, wow, they should name your street, both of them. And so we start talking, well, you should do it when you get up there. And so
yeah, you do it in public. You put them on the spot.
Yeah, exactly. So then they had to. So, but it was great. It was a wonderful idea of Jen's that I just got to deliver.
And in a reciprocal sort of beautiful gesture, I heard Dwight say recently that that the catch should have been called the throw. Because that was the real magic of that moment.
Yeah, we joke and we go back.
He doesn't really mean that, though, Dwight.
No.
And the Cowboys guys are still trying to claim that you were throwing it out of bounds.
Yeah, well, I didn't.
No, you didn't, and that was like a little before my awareness.
Yeah.
I was alive for that game, but it was a little before my awareness. But I sure was aware of it growing up, and that was.
Well, I let it go. I didn't think it was that high. And when I got knocked down, so I didn't see it. So I figured, oh, yeah, no problem. I figured it was arm's length above his head till I saw it. And then our equipment manager, who's never out on the field, the old guy, came when I got to the sideline, said, "Boy, your buddy saved your butt that time." I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "He jumped out of the stadium to catch the ball." I go, "Chico, he's white. He can't jump."
Oh. Well, how wrong you were.
Yes, it was when I saw it.
What about Jerry Rice? Do you see him on a regular basis?
Yeah, I run into Jerry a lot, especially on the road. We do a lot, end up in the same places a lot, on same appearances, and but yeah, he's still active. He's one of those fortunate guys, like he and like Roger Craig. Mm-hmm. Roger, he's a freak of nature. The knucklehead's still running. He's running marathons. I go, "Raj, what are you doing? You survived all that, and you're still running marathons." He's 15 years old.
He's never
again.
played in the NFL.
I know, yeah. Both of them are pretty injury-free, and they're still pretty active.
Would either one of you follow in his footsteps and go on Dancing with the Stars?
Oh no, I turned it down a number of times.
Oh yeah. I feel like
they'd have to change the name of
Turns
the
me
show.
down on the regular dance floor. I think I would be so furious if he went on that.
You never know. He might get the bug.
They'd have to totally change the name of that. I won't go into the name what it should be, but something about ugly dancing, because
ugly dancing.
Not one of my fortes.
What if they had a new show called Horse Jumping with the Stars? Are you still?
That would be her.
But didn't you take it up at one point?
Well,
You
yeah,
guys
I got
both
just
have
tired of
horses,
watching.
right?
Her and the girls would go and jump, and they did all the practice so they could get better.
Mm-hmm.
I just got tired of watching. I went to try to do it, and I said I used to jump purely for the entertainment value of others, because I fell off all the time. If the horse would just gone with me, then we both would have made it over.
Yeah, but he's a graceful faller after all those years
I
of
bet.
going down. Yeah.
What made me quit, though, I was sitting in the stands getting ready to video the girls, and there was a lady sitting behind me, and the guy came running up the steps to sit down. She goes, "Oh, you're too late. You just missed him, and he fell off again."
She was talking about you?
I'm done. No more jumping for me.
So Jennifer, I'm curious, looking back at the last 30 plus years with Joe, eight Pro Bowls, 4 Super Bowls, some records that still haven't been broken. I think 7th all-time passer in the NFL still to this day. What are you most proud of when you look at the man next to you?
Probably nothing to do with football, although I think how successful he was is amazing. And he still carries a lot of the same traits, so I think it probably just kind of, it's moved into our life, which is just the endurance, the constant little competitive, and discipline, and a few other things, nice attributes that he has.
She likes the competitive part because she's competitive. We got in an argument over backgammon.
We have to be on the same team, though.
Yeah, on our honeymoon, we got over strategy. Do you run or do you block?
He doesn't know how to play. That's the problem.
What's the most recent thing you were competitive with each other about?
Well, the thing is we've learned after so many times that we don't play against each other. If it's not a game you can't play on the same side, then don't play it at all, because it's a no-win situation for both of us there, too.
Do you get
Would you
competitive?
agree?
Exactly.
Do you get competitive when you go out like biking together? Do you race, or do you just?
No.
She races, I cruise.
No.
Which means you always win, right?
So many stories, of just work in the years when he was working out and running. He would not. He got to the point where I'd say, "Come on, let's go for a run." It's like 3:00, and we were in Southern California, and he'd say, "No, well, first wait. I want to know how far, where are we turning around, what pace," and I'll do, because he did not want to. And if I was ahead of him, or God forbid, lapped him somehow, in the end, in the last 40 yards, he would sprint past me. We may not run together the whole way, but he was never going to let me win when it really wasn't a race. It was supposed to be a workout. So
She says it wasn't a race, but she knows it was.
But you knew.
She knows it was.
Do you know that it's been 23 years this week since you announced your retirement?
No, I didn't realize it.
I believe it was April 18th was the date that you announced it. Does it feel like it was two decades plus ago?
No, not at all. Probably 3, 4, 5 years at the most. Just the memories still are pretty fresh in your mind, and but probably because it was just such a fun game to play. I enjoyed it. enjoyed my career and
Do you miss it?
everything. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's hard not to. I mean, I played that stupid sport for 31 years. It's kind of hard to quit cold turkey and not have any feelings for it. And the game is just so much fun. I always say I wish people could go out on the field one Sunday afternoon and play the game, and win or lose, just to get that feeling of what it's like out there. Because there's nothing like it, and nothing like it around.
If you could play with any current player, with you in your prime and them in their prime, who would you choose?
Oh my. I better take a defensive guy so I don't make any offensive guys mad. No, you got a stumper. See, I'll make it for the New York fans. I'll play with Beckham.
Okay.
Yes, I see, with Odell.
Yeah.
See? Everybody doesn't
that
like
sounds
him,
good.
but he's, let go. He may break Jerry's records if he could.
Is that an official Joe Montana prediction?
Well, I mean, he's anyone that was close enough to be able to do it. He's a talented player.
Yeah. We have time for some questions from the audience if you guys are up for it.
Sure.
Sure.
Let's do it.
Hi, I have a question. This is more to do with health and football. Are you taking any healing steps in terms of holistic or alternative approaches to your healing journey, like meditation, acupuncture, subconscious mind control?
My mind's not conscious, so I don't do anything with that. But not just kidding. But we do more like deep tissue acupuncture. I had the first time a couple weeks ago, or about a month ago now, cupping. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. I mark easy, so I had like 30 of these little round things all over my back. They look pretty funny, but most of it's more hands-on type of that type of healing.
Mm-hmm. You too, Jennifer?
Yes, yeah, same. Trying to get him to stretch a little bit more and make it more of a habit myself, but that's not really alternative. It's just you just have to do that there to keep going. But yeah, it's really more in the physical. Rolfing would be my first go-to there. As painful as it is, I think it does the most for if your body's really hurting and all. Yeah.
Got it. Who else has a question?
Hi, Joe. Big fan. And
Thank you.
they talk, listen, you're the greatest. In my opinion, I've never seen anyone like you.
Thank you.
And you're Italian, so it's a no-brainer. All right? But Tom Brady, he's pretty good. And he's got 5, right? And I know you got 4, but 3 he cheated. 2 were bad coaching mistakes. I mean, let's be honest. But besides that, we'll give him the 5, right? I know he's great, but, I mean, is he you? I mean, is he compatible to you even in the discussion, I think? I mean, he's very good.
I mean, obviously he's had great years. I think it's hard to put guys with different styles together.
Different eras.
Yeah, and the eras are really difficult. I mean, we had this discussion this morning on one of the sports stations about if you haven't, and it's really hard to find it, first of all, I would imagine, but you have to find Sammy Baugh and Otto Graham. Otto Graham won, 9 or 10 championships.
Sammy Baugh's
Before
had 2,
there,
right.
before there was one of the two, I can't remember, one of the two won 10.
And didn't they play both sides or?
Yeah,
of the ball?
probably back then, and the ball was probably a different shape, and so I don't. It's really hard to compare guys. Like the simplest thing that doesn't seem to make a big difference because you don't notice it as much. But the thing that makes quarterbacks years before, and this is what the guys before me said, that we had it easy compared to what they did, and you watch the wide receiver play. And the things they did to wide receivers, right before I got in the league, they'd throw you in jail for right now. So, but the game is so different. It's really hard to compare guys. But Tom's had a great career. You know, my hat's off to him to be able to continue to play that long. But we stopped taking some of those big hits, and allows your body physically to handle.
And he didn't have LT chasing him, or Dexter Manley, or those other great animals.
Put Reggie White on that
Oh,
list.
and
too.
Reggie.
Thank you.
Thank
Bruce
you.
Smith. Thank
Yeah, yeah, there you go. That was my last concussion, Bruce Smith.
We have time for one more.
Hi, this is going to be an online question. Bob from California wants to know, how do you think football will be different 10 years from now?
It might be flag football. I don't know. It's the way things are going with everything. I don't know. I can't imagine the game having too many more changes. I think one of the things they're trying to do is find a way to cut down some of the serious injuries that are involved in the game. But it's a physical game. There's nothing you can do about it. And they talk about the concussions and the helmets and all that. And I know that the only thing the helmets can really do is slow down the new helmets can slow down the impact rate. But the problem is that you can't slow down the brain, right? So the brain still, when those heads hit and stop, the brain still goes. Mm-hmm. And until they figure that part of it out, I think it's going to be the game will be a little bit different. They're trying to teach different tackling techniques. So now they're going back to the rugby technique where head used to be always head in front. Now it's trying to get guys to put their head in the back. A lot of neck injuries and spinal injuries come from the head in the front. And so they believe that'll slow that down. And hopefully the game will continue because part of the beauty of the game, unfortunately, we took a lot of the brunt of it. What the beauty is the physical part of it. Mm-hmm. So I don't see it changing. There's too much money involved in the game right now.
Well, you certainly showed us how it was done for many years, and I think despite those lists that we can all make, I still put you at the top as the greatest of all time.
Oh, thank you.
And it's really been an honor to have you here. Jennifer, you too, thank you so much to both of you for helping spread awareness for this important cause. Breakawayfromheartdisease.com is the website. And remember those, oh my gosh, I'm going to try to do it again, those 5 things for heart disease. Know your history, eat well, be active, educate yourself on the risk factors, that's the R, and the T is talk to your doctor about heart disease. Jennifer and Joe Montana, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. We appreciate it.